Traders, listen up. Can we take $1,000 and turn it into $1 million? Well, that is the question. Now, I know very well how to take $1,000 and turn it into zero. And could that happen? Well, it could. It's happened before. But this time, we're going to turn it into $1 million. Now, why do I think so? Because I'm a trader. I always have that urge. I got to scratch the itch. You guys know when you're in front of the computer and you're trading, you just want to trade. That's what traders do. We like to be in a trade. A lot of trading is waiting for the perfect setup. So today I'm going to be debriefing you on the setup that we're going to be looking for in this small account challenge. Because the first thing we need to do when we start a small account challenge is identify our edge. Thing number one. Thing number two is execute on that plan. We don't want to sound like a politician and just have a plan. We got to actually execute on it, and that's going to be troublesome for me as well because I have the edge. I identify it, just like this morning here with SFIX. I'm going to go over exactly this strategy. This thing shot down about nearly a point in the first second of the day, which is going to be my edge, my trading strategy. And I want to dive into that. So let's get into the computer. And why am I calling this my edge? Look at this trade right here this morning. I had it on watch list for a hangover setup. The hangover is one of my favorite trading setups. My mentor over at Intensity Stock Watch taught me this many years ago, and I have seen this as a consistent, profitable. Now I'm gonna show you what this is and what my edge is gonna be, and then I'm gonna go through a folder of other examples of this so you can see how it works consistently. I stocked this up in the previous day. It goes on a nice tear. Nice run, is up points, maybe it had news, maybe it didn't. The ticker closes below the high of day, 699. After hours and pre-market, very light on volume, not a lot going on. And essentially, this is the psychology of trading, guys. I understand the psychology of trading better than anybody. The psychology of it, I kind of got. As far as the emotions, the discipline, letting my winners run instead of letting my losers run, these things are what I struggle with, just like everybody else. But the psychology I get. Now, what's the psychology behind this? Well, try to imagine you're in this ticker yesterday at $6 and it runs to $6.99 and you end up holding it overnight. And then you see absolutely no volume after hours pre-market. In fact, you see a bunch of other stocks popping up on the pre-market watch list that morning, getting all the hype and attention, and this has nothing. What inevitably is going to happen? Profit taking. All these people that are in it long from yesterday are looking to take some profits, and we have no follow-through momentum on the name, and so it just dies off. We see profit taking. Now look at this folder of hangover examples that I have. So many that all do the exact same thing. VXRT. Tons of hype the previous day. There's a few variables that have to line up that we're going to be looking for each and every day. We need to look for volume to die off. We cannot have a ton of volume in after hours pre-market. You see on VFF right here, we had a huge pop the day before, not a lot of attention on it the next day, profit taking and fade. So that's one of the key variables I look for. Very light volume in after hours pre-market. And if we don't have shorts on these names, SGMO, look at this, ramping to the close. One thing I particularly like about this edge is that the risk is really small. So the risk is very small, like SFIX this morning. The risk is either going to be the previous close, which on Thinkorswim I have this indicator here that tells me 664 was the previous close, or the previous high a day, 699. Now sometimes you can get an early entry in this and then scale into a little bit more, have two different short entries on it against the previous high day. But when this thing flushes a whole point and your risk was like 30-40 cents, that's very good risk-reward ratio. Let's continue to flip through some names. Sava, same thing. Up into zombie hour, died off after hours pre-market, not a lot of volume. Probably some more tickers, came out with some good news, and then this thing just died on off, faded. We're just going to keep flipping through some tickers because profitable trading is a lot of times not very popular trading. This setup isn't like the low float momentum ticker where you're going to either blow up or make a ton of money on one trade. This is a consistent edge that should grow a small account over time, and that's what we're going to do. Fingers crossed. PGEN, same story, a lot of volume. No volume after hours pre-market. It closed below the previous close and the previous high day. Profit taking. So we could go through a million examples of these. I like this too because it is kind of quick money and you don't have to sit around your computer all day. You just identify these at the end of the day, in the morning, and then take your one trade, wrap it up, call it quits, and move on. That's what I'm going to be doing with my CPRO account, Capital Markets Elite Group, where I'm going to have 6-to-1 leverage on a minimum $100 deposit. That's one of the big reasons I'm over there. I'm getting $1,000 over there. I'll have $6,000 to play with. So on these tickers, I'll probably be trading 200, 300, 400 shares at a time with a fairly tight risk and a good amount of reward. Now, it's going to be kind of boring watching the same thing every single day. I'm going to try to post content on this if you guys want to see it. Follow the journey each and every day. Does this work 100% of the time? No, it doesn't. There's examples where you have a day 2 leg on up. But when I've been studying charts for 10 years, they all look nearly the same, identical. It's just understanding, recognizing pattern recognition, always studying charts and understanding human psychology, because human behavior in the markets never really changes. People experience FOMO and they buy into the momentum and buy at the top, sell at the bottom. They do this over and over again. It's been this cycle since the market was around. We're going to hit the ground running and going to be taking this $1,000 account into $1 million. Stay tuned, because I'm going to be posting all the L's as well as the wins. This is going to be an authentic experience for you, whether we blow it up and have to fund another account or we start hitting the ground running. With low overhead over at CPRO and the 6-to-1 leverage, I think we stand a really good chance of being successful with this. Traders, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's get it.